6. Command Toga, SRS runway, auto thrust is blue. Hanging on, thrust set. 5500. 31. Rotate.
And then there was one Freight-Dawg left on the ramp to depart the middle of nowhere BFE, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to Perry LaFour's Field in Big Sky Country up in the Texas Panhandle. What is going on, everyone? Good to see you here tonight on this lovely Thursday night Freight-Dawg stream. It's been a while since we've done a Freight-Dawg flight, and I want to do Freight-Dawg Friday, but I got something else planned for tomorrow. So this is going to be our Freight-Dawg Friday on Thursday. I hope you guys are ready for it. We're going to be doing a real-world route, and this is ironically the exact time that I'd pretty much be meeting on the ramp right now with my airplane to take off and fly my evening route back into Dallas-Fort Worth. Now, we are going to kind of deviate from that a little bit. I'm going to fly a real-world flight that happened to me. We're going to end up diverting into Oak City with the lovely INI Oklahoma City Airport. I got some stories for you when I flew into there, and just some other fun things we're going to talk about. So yes, we are in the Blacksquare KingAir 350 steam gauge overhaul mod, and I'm super excited. I hope you guys are too. And just like that, Mr. Callie Simmer, what is up, man? Dropping 10 gifted sub memberships out of the gate. Callie Simmer, big thanks. Oh, it's Wednesday? Oh, goodness. I'm ahead of myself here. It's Wednesday. Even better. It's Wednesday. Forget it. Callie Simmer, thank you so much, man, for the $10 gifted subs right out of the gate, guys. If you're picking up a gifted sub, hey, if you want to become a member, just be here at the beginning of a stream, because pretty much Callie Simmer, he pops the stream with 10 gifted subs almost regularly, man. I can't thank you enough for your support. Thank you so much for that, Callie Simmer. I appreciate you. I'm going to mute the alert box here temporarily because of the damage that you're causing here with your great generosity, man. So thank you so much. Appreciate you. Car to the Jets, possibly. Brad K. We'll see, man. We'll see. Good to see you, man. Lauren V2500, I got you confused. I was totally confused there. I cannot believe it's Wednesday. Actually, I can't believe it's Wednesday, but wow, I firmly believed it was Thursday. Oh, well. Anyway. Any Builds is in the chat. Good to see you. Thank you so much. We're going to be checking out the Oak City. Yes, and I do have a very peculiar story about Oklahoma City. It was actually that night that I flew into Oklahoma City was the night that I realized I didn't want to fly freight anymore. So we're going to get into that, guys. This is one of those airplanes that you've kind of heard me talk about it before. It's a fun airplane. It's a great airplane to fly. It's not the best streaming airplane just because it is such a high workload. I'm going to kind of try to do some I actually pull out here. I got my old checklist. I was digging through my old Freight-Dawg flight bag that I found here on the move. I actually have an old checklist from the airplane. Not this exact, not a 200 or not a 300, not a 350. So it's going to be a little bit off, but I should be able to get us through the flight like that. So it'll be fun. I hope you guys are ready to go with me. Jeff L. coming in here with a $2 super chat. Thank you, sir. I'm confused. This doesn't look like the AN225. Oh, my goodness. The AN225. I didn't even know that airplane was coming out. I guess it's out, and it's pretty sweet. So we may have to look into that here in the future. We'll see. But I didn't even know that was coming out. That's just when I'm at my new house, I'm in a dark hole, man. No cell service, no internet, so I'm just kind of living in a dark hole. Once I get out, I was scrambling to get the stream together. So, and look at that, Mr. Tom Pasco dropping 10 more gifted subs. Tom Pasco, thank you so much, man, for your support. I appreciate you, my friend. I've got the alert box muted right now, just so we get past all these wonderful alerts from Tom Pasco here and Callie Simmer. Guys, thank you so much, man. Appreciate all of you for the continued support, and we're going to get this show on the road. Brad K, you finally started studying for your PPL. Nice, man. That's awesome. Can't wait to share the journey with you. I hope you share some pictures and your progress along the way, man. That's absolutely awesome, Brad K. I hear the Antonov is pretty good. I heard it was very good. I saw a little bit of a Captain Canada stream, and then that was how I knew it was out. I was like, oh, wow, there's an Antonov out. And then here we are. So I will look into it further for sure. But yes, I mean, it's from Any Build, so I imagine it's amazing. So we'll have to check in on that as well. So many airplanes coming out this year. It seems like we got a bunch of wide bodies coming out. We got the Antonov out now with 777 supposed to be coming. We got a DC-10 coming out. So it's going to be pretty sweet. It's going to be a good year for Microsoft. And Rotor Fib gifting 5 more memberships. Wow, I should just sit here on the ramp all night because you guys are, the support that y'all are showing me is absolutely awesome. We haven't even gotten in the cockpit yet. That's 25 gifted subs already, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Rotor Fib, I appreciate you, man, so much. Thank you for that. Guys, if you pick up a sub from Roto Fib, shout them out. Let them know you're appreciative of that. Roto Fib, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for your support, dude. All right, let's get this airplane fired up. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we're going to do tonight. This is a real world route. Now, unfortunately, this hangar is not 3D modeled. This is a really podunk airport. I really wish somebody would, this is literally middle of nowhere, Texas. Even Microsoft didn't have 3D buildings for this here. But there's one hangar here, which I used to park in front of, and then there's a couple of GA hangars over here. Now, one little, fun fact, I remember one night, now this is Texas Panhandle, y'all. This is like severe weather in the fall, spring, winter. That whole time of the year is absolutely savage. But see how flat it is? That's about how flat it is. And if you guys remember, I had that story on my V1 After Dark where I almost hit a tower. It was out here somewhere. I don't think it's modeled correctly, but it was out here somewhere, some guide wire tower. But funny story, real quick before we even get going here. So the company I used to work for, they didn't provide hangar space, and when we get these massive ice storms moving through the panhandle, I would have to go out there with either like some glycol and a rag and try to get the critical surfaces clean, or do what I do best. I made good friends with the owner of the airport. He had an F-250. Actually, I think it was a 350. Maybe it was a 250. Doesn't matter. No, it was a Chevy. Doesn't matter what kind of truck it was. But one night we were getting a really, really bad ice storm that was coming in. So he actually is like, well, they don't allow you to put it in the hangar, do you? And I was like, no, I can't start it up because they track the meters and all that. He's like, well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you ride the brakes? I'm going to hook you up to my truck, and I'm going to tow you over to one of the hangars. So no lie, he hooked up the front of the nose wheel with the tow strap and hooked up to his big block Chevy, towed me all the way over here, and put me in his personal hangar right over here, and let me ride out the ice storm that was blowing in. That way I wouldn't have to deal with all that in the evening when I had to take off. So I can't for the life of me remember that gentleman's name, but just a fantastic old country boy, and we had a lot of good conversation together. But yeah, he actually saved that airplane, and I have a picture of that somewhere. I think I posted it in one of the After Darks, or probably in one of the members only pictures a long time ago, but I remember posting it. It's a black Chevy hooked up to the it was a Beach 99. So funny little story about that. All right, back to the airplane. We are in here. Oh my goodness. Another 20 subs from Cosmic Doubloon all aboard the gift train, baby. Cosmic Doubloon, thank you so much, man, for the support, dude. This is, you guys are absolutely awesome. This is unreal. This is very, very generous of you. Thank you so much, Cosmic. Appreciate it. The love. The chat is turning green. Cosmic says, all aboard the gift train, baby. Oh, yeah, all aboard the gift train, Cosmic. Cosmic, you should be getting in bed, man. It's late for you, dude. Thank you so much for your support. Appreciate the 20 gifted subs. Smash down that like button if you're feeling the vibes. We got good vibes tonight. It's going to be a fun stream. We're going to talk a lot about freight. We're going to talk a lot about this lovely KingAir, and it's going to be a lot of fun, man. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate the support. So, here we go. If we sit here all night, I mean, we just sit here all night and tell stories, and y'all be giving gifted subs, and we won't even get the airplane booted up. We got to get going here at some point. Completely green chat today. Yes, it is. Jeremy Harvey, it is indeed, man. This is awesome. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you for the love. All right. So, Blacksquare, KingAir, analog mod, no GPS installed. Why is my screen kind of flickering like that? That's a little weird there. Interesting. Okay. So, the route that we're on today. And if I bring up Navigraph charts, I'm going to use the this here to kind of show you what we're doing. So this particular route was from Pampa, Texas, over to Clinton Regional Airport, KCLK. Now, Clinton Sherman is a Class Delta airport over here, which was one of my alternates, or this would be the airport I would tune in to get the ATIS for and all that. But my route took me over here, a little Podunk Clinton Regional Airport, and this was a VFR approved route for the company. You could fly at daytime. At night, you had to fly this one. Oh, no, if I recall, I think this was a VFR approved route either way. So we're going to do the VFR route. It's basically, if I remember right, like 087 on the heading or something like that, if I remember correctly. Basically 087, 088, straight shot over to the airport, and we'll start our descent. We're only going to be cruising over at 7,500 feet. So it's a low cruise altitude. It's a short flight. We're going to meet the UPS driver. Now, back in the day, this airport used to have an NDB approach with a circle. I can't remember if it was, I scratched that. I think it was a VOR circling approach that you joined it from an NDB. Now, that has all since been decommissioned, and you can see there's only 2 RNAV approaches in here. But I will tell you, before we even get this thing fired up, it was on one of these nights. I remember flying into Clinton Regional. I was IFR. Weather was super low. Icing was really bad. And I remember this a distinct moment in my career where I am on the feeder route from the NDB. So basically, I think the NDB was the initial. And you took the NDB in, you joined an arc, and basically you flew an arc all the way around, and then it brought you in at basically a 90 degree to the runway off of, what's this VOR? Burns Flat. So yeah, you basically flew an NDB, joined an arc to Burns Flat, and then you joined a radial in, and it brought you in 90 degrees to the runway. And I remember specifically, I remember this moment like yesterday. I'm in my Beech 99. I'm in the ice. I'm low IMC. I'm by myself. It was delayed, so I think it was like 10 o'clock at night. And I remember I'm joining the arc, and I'm doing the twist 10, turn 10. All you private pilots or all you real-world pilots probably remember the twist 10 or turn 10, how to fly an arc hold, or excuse me, how to fly an arc with the HSI, where you're basically twisting and turning to keep your distance. And I remember thinking, what on earth, like, what life choices did I make to end up right here, right now? Like, have I made some mistakes, or am I doing the right thing? And then all of a sudden I remembered, hey, no time to think about that. Focus on the approach. We got to find this airport and do the circle to land. But I remember that moment like yesterday. I'm on the arc, I'm doing my twist 10, turn 10, and it was like my world just stopped. I'm high stress, I'm running the de-ice boots. That was one of the first nights where I really had to run the de-ice boots regularly, and I hadn't seen ice like I'd seen that night. I was still very young in my career. This is over 10 years ago, and I remember it was like I was really using the boots, and I was thinking, man, is ice bridging really a thing? Because they talked about bridging, and I'm running the boots and all this stuff. And then my world stopped, and I was like, what did I do to end up here? Like, did I screw up along the line somewhere? And then I was like, hey, no time to think about that. You're getting disoriented. Fly the airplane, fly the approach. Flew it down to minimums, made the circle to land, and it was kind of funny. So it's a super short flight. I figured I'd get that story out of the way because I don't know what it is, but there's times in your life, and if you're a private pilot and you're going through training, or if you're in aviation in general, you probably remember specific random moments in your career for no reason other than just it stuck out in your mind. And that's one of them to me. It's like, wow, I can smell the airplane. I can hear the airplane. I remember the lighting and just craziness. So here we go. Is this about to cost me everything? I had that feeling in Afghan in 2009. Oh man, ailerons into the wind. Whew. Definitely not that intense, but I can. That's crazy, man. I know what you mean about just a moment that sticks out, right? Sometimes in your life you just have moments that stick out. Like what? I don't know why I remember that, but here we go. That trailer, though, Steven Spielberg, got nothing on V1 Mike P. Thank you so much, man. That was I actually made that video, I don't know, several years ago. I just never really uploaded it, so I thought I'd throw that on the trailer there. So, okay, we know it's a quick flight. We're going to basically do some KingAir stuff, some Beech 99 stuff. We're not going to do any of the originating receiving, but basically we're going to make sure crash bar's down, everything is off, we are idle. We're going to go forward, cut off down here. We'll run down over here. We'll get the rudder boost, the electric trim on as well. This is oxygen is off. Coming over here, we are instrument environmental off. Everything looks good on this side. How we ran it, our nav lights were always pretty much in the on position. That way, if the battery came on, the airplane nav lights were on. That way, if you walked away from the airplane, we were always taught to, hey, look back. And if your nav lights are on, that means you forgot to turn the batteries off. So the nav light pretty much always stayed on at my operator, just kind of an SOP thing. So nav lights on, everything else is off. And this departure is super easy. So it's all VFR. So we're going to just load the airplane here real quick. Let's do a little weight and balance. Let's get her loaded up. All right, V1 cuts lawns next to the taxiways and occasionally trims trees for no cost after takeoff. Yeah, Brad K., you know it, man. You know it. Hopefully we don't have any of that today. All right, how are we going to load this sucker up? Let's do, today is Wednesday. Okay, I have to share this story. I have to share this, not story, but this situation. So on Wednesdays, I loved this route on Wednesdays because I would get filled up. Well, let me rephrase this because this could sound awful. My aircraft would be loaded with a lot, hundreds of pounds of bull semen. I'm not kidding you. Wednesdays was bull semen run day. Sometimes they throw some horse semen in there, but I would love Wednesdays because when I had the, I feel like semen's an aggressive word for this, but whenever I had the semen on board, it was always a good thing because it was a time-sensitive delivery. So my route, when I would get into DFW, I had priority offload. I wouldn't have to unload my own cargo. Now I'd have to load my cargo here with the drivers, with the couriers that came up to the airplane. I'd have to help load, and if we had a couple 100 pounds of that, it's a pain in the butt to load. However, once I got into DFW, it was awesome because I had priority offload. They'd show up and they would take those crates of stuff and it would go right on an MD-11 on UPS and then go overseas to Asia. So, and it's because it's all time sensitive stuff. So I love Wednesdays because I had priority offload. I get in, I don't have to unload my cargo. I can just set the brake and basically say goodbye and go home. So anyway, thought I'd throw that out there. Okay, let's load up this airplane. Let's do some weight and balance. And I was typically pretty heavy on Wednesdays. So what are my pounds here? I've got 50% fuel. That's 612. Call it 1,200 plus another 500. What's that? 1,700 pounds of gas. That should be enough. I can't remember what my fuel load was. I saw somewhere when I was moving, I found some old logs from this exact route, and I thought I had them at the office, but I don't know where they are. And I actually had like some weight and balance papers that I'll show you guys, but I don't have them with me right now. But I have some other stuff I'll show you on camera here in a little bit. So about 1,700 pounds of fuel because I would fill up here for the entire flight into Dallas, and I'd have a couple stops. Payload, we're going to juice this up here. I'm just going to go ahead and bring it to about... we're going to load her up to about 73% because once we stop in Clinton, we're going to be pretty darn heavy out of Clinton. So we're loaded up about 73% here, 50% fuel. That looks good. We'll go ahead and close that out of there. What do we have here? An A330 in Pampa. Yeah, that ain't going to work out too well. So here we go. Seat 2A. I missed your. Oh man, I missed your dono, man. I'm sorry about it. I had the alert box muted because we got so much love starting out here. But let me read it for you. Seat 2A. Thank you for the bank angle check, my friend. Tip for 250-hour pilots, drink a few in the hotel bar before having the courtesy transportation come and pick you up. Also, if you specify a limo pickup, you can drink all the way to the ramp. Cheap drinks in Oak City. First round is on me. We'll need it. Seat 2A, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for that $5 bank angle check. Sorry, I had the alert box muted there because we had about 422 membership donos before the stream started. But I appreciate your support, man. Thank you, Seat 2A. I can't wait to charge a couple drinks on your tab. So let's go ahead and get it here. That sounds so disgusting. I hope you didn't. No, you couldn't smell it, Jeremy. And it's actually, I mean, it's sterile, but I mean, it was a huge moneymaker. I mean, that the bulls and everything out here in Texas, like we have, not Wagyu, but I mean, you've got like the Longhorn, and then you have the horse, like the purebred horses, all these crazy bovine creatures that are needed in the Asia markets. So it was a big deal. Like they would be tracking, like, hey, make sure you're in on time because it had a certain amount of time. It could be off of a frost or like a refrigerated environment. I don't know. Anyway, here we go. Let's fire it up. We're going to go battery switch on. Enough chit chat. We'll never get out of here. Battery switch is coming on. We'll clear the cautions like that. I'll turn the avionics master on here real quick. We'll set our course line. Super easy. Like I said, I think it was right about 087. We'll double check it here after we start up. We'll get the engine warm up. 087 on departure. It's going to be a left turn direct to 087. I think the winds are pretty stout here. Coming out of this airport. Let me see. Can I tune an ATIS here? Comms. ASOS 1832. I don't think I have default ATC on. I don't think this will work, but it looks pretty darn windy out there. And it was always very windy. 1832 negative. How about 18725? I think I have this shut off. I think I have all the default stuff shut off, so we'll just have to roll with it. 725. Oh, come on. Yeah, we don't have anything there, so we'll just monitor Unicom. What do we have? 122, 122.8 for Unicom. 122.8 for Unicom is up and running. We have our heading set. Basically, everything else looks good. I forget what it is. We would do some standby pump checks. We would do the cross feed check like that. Basically, no GPS to set up, so that was easy. I will set up my nav radio for Burns Flat, which is 110.0. We'll throw that on here. 110.0 is set in nav 1, 1200 on the ATC. Since we are VFR, we're going to squawk 1200. That works for me. Everything else looks good here. Again, verify idle forward cutoff. Beautiful. So now let's go ahead and turn off the engine master. The avionics master. Let's pop our windows and get ready for some absolute juicy startup sounds. Here we go. We'll do it from basically inside, but here we go. I'm going to walk you through the startup procedure. Pretty simple, and we're going to get it right here. So ignition and start. You don't need to do the ignition up here. Oh, I've talked about this before. Oh boy, let me get to this real quick before we burn our battery up. Mickey G, thank you for the $30 super chat, man. Very generous of you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that massive super chat. He says, congrats on the move, man. Get yourself a drink. Mickey G, I'm going to hold you to that right after this stream. I'm going to go stop at the station on the way home. I appreciate the support, Mickey G. Thank you so much, man. Glad you're enjoying the content. Glad to have you on board tonight as well. So here we go. Clear prop. We're not doing any of that nonsense. But here, this happens fast, so we got to monitor. We got turbine rise. Now, I've fixed something. We're basically going to wait for max motoring here on the 350. There we go, stable 20%. There's our light off. ITT rise, make sure it's within limits. Start limit is up here, like 1050C. We're well below that. ITT rollback. At 50%, we're going to go starter cutout. 50% starter cutout. Inverter. Once we're stable, we'll go Gen 2, reset and on. High idle. I'm going to boost the sounds a little bit for y'all too. All right, we got a good start on number 2. Now we're going to do a battery assisted start, or a generator assisted start, I should say, for number 1. So same deal, ignition 1. We got rotation, monitoring our instruments, waiting for about 20% max motoring. Fuel. There's our light off. ITT is up, coming up. RPM is spooling up. Within limits. ITT rollback. 50% starter cutout. Stable, we'll go inverter. Gen 1, reset and on. Bring her back to low idle. We'll go master switch on. We'll close the doors here, the windows here. I wish I'd muted the sound a little bit more. I'm going to turn it down. We'll go through the rest of our flow. Environmental off, we'll get that. It's typically hot. We'll go man cool over here. Aft blower is on. We'll get oxygen on. Everything is set down here. COM 3, we didn't have that on my airplane. External power, that's just because it's available. It's a Blacksquare thing. Everything else looks good. We'll hit the magic barrel ref key. Let's set our altitude 7,500 for cruise. So one thing to note, I remember, I'm actually going to turn some lights on here. So if you remember, I was having a hard time not hot starting the airplane. And what was happening was in the lower model, engine model, KingAirs and Beechcraft, I never flew the 350. So and this is just an assumption, in the 350, I was told that you basically wait till max motoring. If you introduce fuel before that, you could get close to a hot start. So in some of the D-rated PT6s, like maybe on the Beech 99, even the C90, you didn't quite have to wait till 20%. Your max motoring was pretty much about 12 to 15%. But because these engines are, and this is an assumption, because they're a little bit more powerful, a little bit bigger, it's right about that 20% mark. So when you're flying the 350, you want to make sure that you actually let it get up to that 20%, or you could hot start. Now, we were within limits there, about 950. You have 2 ITT limits here. You've got your normal operation, and then you have your starter limit up here, which is about, 1,000 C? So 900 is, or 825 or something like that, and then there's your start limit right about 1,000 C. Oh yeah, thank you for that. 122.8, we'll reset that. 22.8 is set. Nav 2, I'm going to just go ahead and back up Burns Flat VOR 110.0. We'll transfer that over, and it's super windy today, so we're going to do a no flap takeoff. Everything else looks good. Oh, never got the beacon on. Oh, we got somebody talking on the radio. Let me go ahead and turn my V-Pilot up. If you have to program your GPS, does that mean you have to sit there with the engines running? No, Jeremy. Typically, if you're going to do that, you should be able to program your GPS before you start the engines. That was always a pet peeve of mine. I always hated sitting on the ramp with the engines turning. So basically, once you're ready to start up and you're burning gas, you need to taxi off and get rolling. So let me make sure I have my radio bound. I need to change my push to talk. Push to talk. See, I should have done this. Clear. Pampa traffic. Radio check. Alright, there we go. Austin D, thank you for the $5 super chat, my friend. Appreciate you. He says, love the stream, Captain. Salute. Austin D, thank you so much, man. Again, this is the stream that's like, this airplane is so much fun, and I love it to death. But it is a very poor airplane for streaming purposes because it requires a lot of attention from me, and I miss a lot of the chat. So I'm trying to do my best here, taking my time. We're not in a super fast hurry here. I'd already be in the run-up box in real life. So I'm trying to kind of take my time with the chat and fly this airplane because it is such a high workload airplane, and there's so much to talk about on this thing. So, all right, we're started up. We're ready to go. Let's go ahead and release the brakes. Actually, before I do that, I have a checklist. Let me actually read the checklist for you guys here. On my old checklist here. So before start, I should have done this. Crew ladder stowed. We don't have that on this airplane. Manifest, batteries on, bus volts. We check that. Doors are closed. Control locks, engine controls are set. Trims 1, 2, 3 and set. Parking brake set. Avionics master is on now. Beacon on. Caps, props, capped, clear. Right, clear left. Caps, props. That's a big one. So you got to check your fuel caps on the 350. Where's that? Where's the fuel cap on this sucker? Should be on top of the wing. We don't have any fuel caps. Should have fuel caps up here, and you have NAC caps as well. So it was always a good idea to make sure you were capped, because especially in the other models like the Beech 99, which is basically unpressurized 200 KingAir, these caps, if they were up, I have a video of what happens when you take off with the cap not closed and you're spilling fuel all over the wing. I'll have to show you that video as well. Okay, after start, engine instruments check, generators reset and on, inverter on, avionics master on, annunciator panel is normal, auto feather light, pit prop pitch left and right, that's normal. Okay, here we go. Let's get out of here. So, brakes released. Let's juice it up a little bit. Now, I wish you could, let me get my taxi light on. I wish you could use proper beta in this airplane, which you can't for some reason. I don't know why. It just kind of sucks. And I have like a really hard time using breakaway thrust here too. I don't know what's up with that. Like I have to almost go, I don't know if it's maybe it's just the sound set. I think this is FT Sim sound. Velociraptor, thank you for the members chat there, man. Appreciate you. Loving the KingAir ops. Hey man, I know a lot of y'all love this airplane, so I'm gonna try my best to fly it somewhat frequently, once every couple months at least, because I love this airplane too. It's a very hard streaming airplane. It really is. Rip to the rampy. Oh yeah. You can't use beta? No, like for some reason in this airplane, I thought there was a way to toggle the ground beta, but it doesn't either. It doesn't work anymore, or they changed the binding and I haven't figured it out. So if anybody watching this video on replay or anybody in the chat knows, basically the way I feel it's working is it's basically one linear axis right now. But in the real airplane, you actually have gates down here on your throttle quadrant, which, man, it'd be really cool if someone made a high-tech, like, KingAir throttle quadrant. I might have to talk to Roberto about that. Vodka, I did see you. There you are. Are you on the runway right there? That must be Team Vodka right there. Yeah, the Airfoil Labs KingAir, in my opinion, was far superior, much more refined. I would love to see Airfoil Labs come to Microsoft. Strangest, coolest cargo you ever hauled? Well, I took about 10,000 rounds of ammunition, but it was like, what was it? It was 30 Mike. It was no, it wasn't a high explosive. What was it? It was like a 30 millimeter. It was 30 mil. Was it? Yeah, so wait, 30 millimeter. Yeah, whatever goes in the A10. The A10 cannon, whatever goes in that. I actually hauled about, I don't know, 10,000 rounds of that. It was super heavy. That was pretty cool. I took a whole plane load of bees one time. That was interesting. All right. So short of the runway here, let's do our taxi check. Brakes are checked. Flight controls. Tops check. Bottoms check. Make sure they're free and correct. Thrust levers. Reverse check. So we got to do a reverse check. Fuel quantity and balance. It is checked. Looks good. Flaps up indicating. We're not doing any flap. We're doing a no flap takeoff today, so they're up indicating correctly. Trim 1, 2, 3 set in range. We're takeoff. That is 0, 0. Everything else looks good. Radios are set 22.8, 110.0 for Burns Flat VOR. Check. Flight instruments, we are the departure brief. It's going to be a left-hand departure. We're going to climb out 7,500 direct to, basically VFR. Before takeoff, run-up complete. So one of the run-up items that is the most important is your auto feather check. So we're going to real quickly do an auto feather test. It does work properly. For those of you that aren't familiar with auto feather is and like the varying pitch and all that, I have some video on my channel really just explaining this in detail, but I'll go through it here real quick. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to put the auto feather switch into test. We're going to bump up the power levers until we get our auto feather lights. I can't remember what the setting was. This seems a little bit off. All right, but well, we got to get both auto feathers illuminated right about. Come on, come on. There they are. All right, so auto feather is illuminated. So with the test mode, basically, I'm going to bring the power back on number 1, and it should feather. And the feather light for number 2 goes out. So let's go ahead and bring it back up. And you want that auto feather light to go out because you don't want to feather both engines automatically. Once we get them both up and running, we'll do the same for number 2. Feathered. Good. Bring it back up. Maybe check your alternate static and all that over here. Make sure everything else was checked, your bleed and all that, but we're going to skip all that stuff today. So run up check is complete. All right, crew door latch, auto feather is going to go arm. So now we're going to go ahead and turn that off. We'll go ahead and arm you. Annunciator paddle normal, so we're going to go ignition, arm. Let's get the rest of our lights on here. We got our landing lights on, ice slides, recog, and tail. We got windshield anti-ice, stall, and pitot are the 5 that are going on. And, oh, we got the, why do we have our fuel transfer lights on? What's up with that? Shouldn't have to have the standby pumps on. Why do I got no fuel transfer? That's the cross feed. Auto transfer, let's put it into override. And now let's put it back in auto. Interesting. Alright, well, we'll put them in override for right now. Pampa traffic, and flight 1791, we're going to line up and wait, runway 22. Or, correction, 23. Alright, so that windsock is straight out. So we got a rip and crosswind. We can actually take, I'll tell you what, let's take 1.5. What's this other runway here? 1.7. That's close. We're going to take 1.7. Pampa traffic and flight 1791. We'll be departing runway 17 Pampa. All right, so we're taking 1.7 for departure. Gives us a little bit more of a headwind. We want to get past the displace threshold here till we're on the runway. No Togas to smash. All right, full right rudder, says Team Vodka. Here we go. So crosswind correction. Let's go ahead and get the yoke cam on, or what I call it, the shoulder cam. I wonder if I can adjust this a little bit more. I haven't had time to get a better angle, but basically I'll try to keep my shoulder out of the way. So here we go, a little crosswind correction, little right rudder, and we're going to set power. Now setting power in this KingAir is not really representative. The ITTs are much more active in a real PT6. These pretty much seem to just lock out at like 650. I don't know if that's a Microsoft bug or what. So we'll go ahead and add power. We should see the auto feathers. Release the brakes. Props at 100%. Now let's go ahead and get that juice in there, and we're going to go ahead and set our torque. We could use a reduced torque for this takeoff, but we'll go ahead and get right up there about 95 on this one. All right, our torque is set. 80 knots. Wow. 100 knots. Right about 120. Rotate. Man, that wind is kicking. Positive rate. Gear up. When I was super light, I used to do the tactical departure out of here. I'll show you the tactical departure. Basically, a couple hundred feet per minute climb. Wow, it's so windy though. Right there, about 160. Up we go. That was the fun part about flying freight. Nobody on board, nobody to worry about. All right, left turn out, 087. About 160 knots or so in the climb out. There's 1,000 feet. We're going to lower the nose just a tad. I'm going to bring that torque down, about 92. Let's go ahead and bring the props back about 1900-ish. Oh, yeah, that looks good. About 087. Guys, I'm telling you, this looks really bland out the window right now. But as someone who flew this route many, many times, this is exactly what it looked like. Kind of scary. This view right here. I love this view with the engine just sticking out there. All right, right about 087. Trim it out. 180 knots. We're going to need to get some more lights on in here. We'll go back to no more shoulder cam. We'll go ahead and turn on some more lights up here. We'll get the indirect and the floodlight on. I don't love the blue, but some people do. All right. Runway items. Ooh, we skipped that checklist. Auto ignition, ice vanes, ice protection, lights, transponder, radar, bleed valves. Should have been environmental off. Were they environmental off? They were. Okay, good. So now we can go instrument environmental on. Oh, no. That's not what I meant. Scratch that. Let's go open. Wrong way there on the scroll wheel. All right, runway items complete. Climb checklist, gear, power. So for our little PT6s, and this is a, what is this? This is a 99 checklist. We used a lot less power setting. It wouldn't really apply to this airplane. About 1,400 torque, 750 ITT, and 1,900 RPM. So definitely a different engine on this one. This is a little bit more juice on these big old 350. We're 6,000 for 7,500. We are climbing out. And I tell you what, let's go to 9.5. We'll go to 9.5, and we're going to go autopilot heading, vertical speed. We're going to hold her right there. So we are about 087 on the heading, 6.6 climbing 9.5. Is the transponder on? Yeah, it's on altitude. Good. 1,200 on altitude, and we're looking good now. Are you using light mods for the KingAir? I don't believe I am, Pilot 86. Are there any light mods? Because I'd like to brighten it up. Torque is falling off. We can bump that torque up just a little bit. Get a little bit more climb performance. No weather radar. I guess we can monitor our engine condition. Looks good. Looking good. Is the Beech 99 similar to Baron 58? No, the Beech 99, the best way I would describe it, Jeremy, is an unpressurized KingAir 200. So a little bit smaller than the 350, and the tail's a little bit different. I think the tail's a little bit different on the 99, but it's the same size approximately of a 200 KingAir. The 350 is a big boy. You actually need a type rating for the 350. All right, we are looking good. This is because it's cold in here. That's normal. We'll just go to auto. 1,000 to level off. Check. Lower that vertical speed a little bit. I'm using some bindings. You can't really see me using them, but get it down below 1,000 feet per minute here. Mr. Start, we going to OKC? Yes, we are. We are. I'm going to tell you where we're going here and why we're going there in just a minute. I'm going to turn the sound down a little bit more. Man, we need like a super high fidelity KingAir 350. I mean, this one's pretty good, but it's the default Azobo model. And, all right, 9,500. Altitude has captured. Nice and smooth. We'll let the airplane accelerate here. Now, in cruise, we were pretty restricted. So, you know, you could fly the airplane any way you want to fly it, but professional pilots fly it the way their company wants them to fly it. So, aside from Friday power, we actually had some pretty low power settings for cruise. So let's go ahead and start with the reduction. We're going to go ahead and bring the torque back first. We're going to bring torque back to about 80%. We'll bring that prop back now. I think the 350 has like a quiet cruise setting, but we'll set about 1,600 on the props. And ITT less than 725, which will. So that's kind of similar. So our ITTs had to be less than 725. We're at about 700 right now, so everything looks good. In cruise, we'll go ahead and turn off the auto ignition, and we'll go ahead and turn off the auto feather. Auto feather light, that's normal. We'll go ahead and clear the caution. And in cruise, we'll go ahead and kill the landing lights, and we'll kill the taxi light, ice light, recogs, and tail flood. So basically nav beacon strobe, leveled off here at 9,500 in cruise. And we are on our way to no man's land, Clinton Sherman Airport. Keko, you always wanted to fly a Duke? Yeah, man, I used to see the Dukes on the ramp sometimes in California. They were pretty wild. Caden Rigtrup, thank you for the $10 super chat, man. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you on board. He says, the Freight-Dawg life is great. I currently fly the 99 and 1900. Nice. So I can say the 99 is the scariest thing to fly. Caden, you flying 99s in a similar paint job, I'm assuming? That's awesome, man. Glad to have you on board, man. Welcome to the stream. Maybe once upon a time we flew for the same airline. But, all right, cruise checklist is complete. Now let's go ahead and kind of check, see where we are. I'm not picking up any nav 1 or nav 2. I should be getting burns flat by now. 110.0. Let's pull up our Navigraph. And we can kind of see Clinton Regional burns flat 110.00. 110.00. It is properly set. We'll put the nav 1 ID on in case we start picking up. Maybe we can hear it. But that looks good. Oh, one thing we forgot to do, guys, and it's kind of important for these. Start the clock. Start the ET, elapsed time. Oh, you fly for Alpine Air Express. Nice. Okay, so I never flew for Alpine, but very similar. Flew the same airplanes probably. Pretty cool. All right, so we are in cruise. We are doing 230 knots, looking good. Waiting to pick up some. Turn this down even more here. I have to look at Sky Vector. Where's our Sky Vector? So we've got some lakes that we passed. Basically, yep, there's our lakes right there off the left-hand side. I'm looking at Sky Vector on a different screen. We got to go past Lard Airport, which is 93 Fox, so it'll be a little airport on our left. Basically, the way you ID this airport is there's going to be a big lake, and I say big lake, but it's a larger lake for the area. Foss Reservoir, I believe. And it should be, if you're going direct to the airport, the reservoir should be just right off your left-hand side. And we're basically going to dive and drive it down into the airport because the PT6 is pretty forgiving. And it can, you just bring that sucker to idle, and it's scary how fast it goes down. So that's what we're going to set up for. We're cruising. Everybody's happy. Let's go ahead and take a look on the, oh yeah, that's a nice view right there. Navigraph has VFR map. Fire Flyer. Let me... okay, so I thought it did. How do I activate it? Because I'm in... oh, Navigraph has... Oh, it's the actual app, huh? Do I have to launch the actual app? Yes, Austin D. I've flown the Skyhawk many times. Yeah, geez, I got thousands of hours in that thing. Rotofib about... What did you say? I feel like PMG has nice turboprop. Yes, the JS41. I love the Jetstream, man. Love the Jetstream. Flew the crap out of it. I think I flew the Jetstream more than I flew the 737 in FSX. No, they have an in-game with VFR maps. You need to update your Navigraph. Oh, really? So I need to update this thing right here? Because I only have world, low, and high. So if you're telling me if I update this sucker, I can get VFR maps? That would be pretty sweet. Someone say puddle? Explain. Yeah, no, there were no puddles. I know those lakes, quote unquote, out here are puddles indeed. Okay, so I'll have to update that. I'll have to update that and take a look at it, man. I was just looking at SkyVector in-game, which is pretty cool. But we should get some Burns Flat information there pretty soon at some point. But this was a super quick flight. This was my view right here. I can't tell you how real this looks because it was about the same exact time of day as well. Kiko says, I miss having my paper charts. I used to fly cargo into STI, and instead of the RNAV, we would fly the DME ARC to join the ILS. No GPS, and would fly the Zin NDV down to the Caribbean. Kiko, that's awesome, man. Yeah, that's real flying, dude. That's real flying. I miss paper charts too, honestly. I have some pictures of, let's see, where is like one of my favorite pictures. The last day that I flew in the Chieftain, my buddy brought donuts. He was celebrating my quote-unquote upgrade to the Beechcraft out of the Chieftain. I've posted that photo a couple times, but let's see if I can find it here on my desktop. I wanted to show you guys some other information I have, too, that I found. It's kind of neat. You found the airport, Team Vodka? All right, man. Good deal. All right, so there's those. Oh, yeah. How do I open this? I need to do... hopefully this won't crash my sim. Nope, don't want to do display capture. Close that off. I wish I could just show you an image here. What's up with this? Mike P dropping a $50 super chat. Mike P, thank you, man, for the support, dude. Absolutely awesome. Heading to Vegas tomorrow. At least I won't lose this $50. Mike P, dude, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for that $50 super chat. Hey, you're not going to lose that $50. Hopefully I'll turn it into something that you really like to see here on the channel, man. Thank you so much for that. Very kind of you. Very appreciative of that monster super chat. Thank you, man. Thank you. Have fun in Vegas tomorrow. Don't go too crazy, but I'm sure you're going to have an absolute blast, man. Awesome stuff. How many hours do I have in real life? I did my logbook not too long ago. I think I'm just shy of 10,000. I have to double check on that. Somewhere around there. You're talking just total time, right? The Rex season trees sure do look nice. Yeah, and you know what? I wanted to change the season to like kind of an early-ish spring, but this will work for now because it's actually we're starting to see some green. This is still kind of like the fall, dead winter, but I should have changed it. I just didn't have time for the stream. So I see the reservoir up there. It's going to be we want to pass this reservoir basically right on the southern tip of that reservoir. And grab version 6 of the current AirAC. Not sure what's going on. I'll have to check it out, Velociraptor. I gotta update a lot of my stuff, no doubt about it. Here we go. So it looks like we've got some Burns Flat DME information. So if I were to go, so Burns Flat, there's the VOR right over there. Cool. 32 miles out. We're basically staying on 087 as the course. But, you know, it's kind of a, you know, where should you have your needle? I would, you know, kind of keep it centered or basically just put it out in front of me. I used to know what radial I'd have to cross to start my descent. I want to say it was like the 150. When I crossed the 150 radial, I would start trickling down, which we might do. So we'll get ready to set our pattern altitude and all that for Clinton Regional. I wish we had the old school approach in here. We don't have it, but that's fine. Let's see here. I just want to see. We're doing this pure VFR. Elevation is 1,600 feet. So let's call it 1,700. So 1,000 above that would be 2,700 plus 5 for turboprops. That's going to be 2,200 feet is traffic pattern altitude. We're at 9,500. Let's do a little mathematical situation here. So we take 9,500, what did I say, minus 2,200? Is that right? That's what I said? Which is about 7,300 feet to lose. So let's just call it 7,000 at 1,000 feet per minute. A little over 7 minutes. We probably start coming down here pretty soon. We'll go ahead and set 2,000. 300. Uh-oh.
Tip, reservoir, full semen. No chance of this stream to ever receive monetization.
C2A. Oh, my man. Dude, I leave it to you, man, to always key up on that. Absolutely, dude. You're right, man. Tip, reservoir, and bull semen. Yeah, we're full of bull semen on this one. No chance of the stream ever to receive monetization. I know. That's why I've got the support from you guys. Bank angle check right back at you, C2A. Very kind of you, man. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate you, dude. Very much appreciative. I've seen videos where pilots appear to pump the yoke or the side stick during flare instead of a smooth, continuous pool. Why is that? It's probably just feel. You know, Jeremy, I'll have to upload it. Remind me sometime this week if I don't forget. I actually videotaped me... I actually videotaped some, like, the hand movement of, hold on, I'm trying to set my autopilot vertical speed. The hand movement on approach. So I have a video of, like, the way my wrist moves, and it was really gusty winds on the one I did. But I think it's just technique. Some guys, you know, some guys like to kind of pump it and then milk it. Some guys try the continuous flare. It's all feel. It's all feel. All right, here we go. Starting top of descent. Auto feather. Here we go. Let's get back on it. Auto feather arm. This is a short flight. Auto feather arm. Altimeter's set. We'll go ahead and hit the magic barrel ref key there. And approach briefing complete. We're going to do visual. Team Vodka, when you get down there, let me know what the winds are because I can't pick up any default weather. We're going to go ahead and bring that power back. Let's go ahead and start on down. We're doing a little over 1,000 feet per minute. So here is the reservoir. And if we are looking at sky vector, which I'm double check, 3,200. Wouldn't it be 3,200? Maybe 3,200. Let me set 3,200. I'll have to double check here. Maybe I did my math wrong. I'm more concerned with finding the airport. So So basically from the lake to the airport, it's about 12 miles. So we're going to go ahead and keep on coming down. About 12 miles. And let's go ahead and move our heading a little bit more to the right because we want to cross this lake pretty much right over the left side, right over the dam part right here. In fact, I can almost make out the airport. We're going to be coming basically midfield downwind on this one. Some guys like to pump and milk it. Yep, demonetization confirmed. Yep. For the Mad Dog and Caravan, the flight edits, Arlen. I don't think I edited anything for the Mad Dog, did I? I don't think I edited anything for the Mad Dog. But for the Caravan, it was a so the problem with the Caravan fix was that it was a CFG edit, and I don't want to post a CFG because that would be, you know, that could be like piracy, right? Because it's I don't know if who has the proper Caravan, so I can't post it, unfortunately. All right, but we are going to be high here. Let's get back on track. I think, where's the airport? There's the beacon. Oh, no, that's an airplane. That's Team Vodka. So the airport's going to be about 12 miles off our nose. I think it's right down there somewhere. Team Vodka, did you find it yet? Hey, Amflight landing Clinton. Do you see the airport down there?
Negative yet. Some buildings up ahead. I'll let you know if I actually make contact.
Roger that, thanks. Alright, so let me try and do a little hack mode off the VOR. It should be 032 from Burns VOR. Which, flip that around. What's that? 032 outbound. If you cross the 032, you've basically gone too far. So we've got that set. We're trickling down. We'll do a flyover, because we used to do that in real life as well. Arlen, yeah, that's the thing. Getting the values, not the CFG itself. So I checked. Did you check the pin messages? Check the pin messages. Maybe the changes were in the pin messages. All right, we're at 5,000 feet. Let's go ahead and continue slowing down here. Approach checklist. Radios are set. Flight instruments are checked. Everything else is looking good. We'll go ahead and get our landing lights on. We'll get the rest of our lights on here. We'll get tail flood is coming on. We'll save the auto ignition for later.
Lynn Regional Air Flight 1202, cross midfield, enter left-hand pattern.
Oh, there's the airport. All right, so he's going to cross midfield. So technically, I think it's left traffic, but we'll follow him coming down here. I see the airport.
Seatbelts on this thing. With the pilot having trouble finding the airport, I'm a tad nervous. So,
Kelly Simmer, I got you, man. I got you. Thank you for the $5 bank angle check. Hi, this is VFR flight. This is how we did it, man. This was a VFR approved route. I could see the airport up there. But yeah, basically you hit that lake. And right after that lake, you got about 12 miles. Wow, look how beautiful that is. I mean, you talk about flying in nothing, no man's land, Texas and Oklahoma. This is what it looks like. But it's beautiful in its own way because I remember it, and I remember it looking exactly like this. Aha, there's the airport right there. I think I actually have some video of me landing at this airport. All right, we're leveling off at 3,200 feet. I got the traffic in front of me in sight. We'll go ahead and continue to reduce our speed. We'll bump up our props a little bit here. I'm going to keep slowing down about 180 knots or so. We don't want to be coming ripping in here at 220 knots. Diamond Aviation, thanks for tuning in, man. I do not envy you having to do months worth of flights to log. That's a pain. That's a pain. I think it was 2,200. What was the field elevation again? Should be 1,500 feet above field. So... yeah, 3,200. We're right, 3,200. Thank you, whoever corrected me. 3,200 feet is pattern altitude. We're about 170. I'll come back to 160. And he's going to fly midfield downwind. So what we would have to do on this airport is you'd either have to do a low pass to verify that the runway was clear and check the winds, or you could tune into Clinton Sherman Airport, which is a larger airport off to our right, and then you could get the winds from there. Right now we're looking good. We're not going to worry about the replay on this one because we're going to land, we're going to do a hot reload, and then we're going to head over to Oak City. And I'll tell you about the night I landed Oak City and why I landed Oak City. All right, so we're 160. I can see him. He's left downwind there. Cool deal. He's on left downwind across the midfield. Clinton Regional Traffic M Flight 1791. We're crossing midfield downwind. Making left traffic for 17 Clinton. Looks like there's a 330 down there. That's pretty funny. Where is the windsock? Oh, there it is. There's the wind circle. I could see the circle for it. That was pretty cool. Right there. Man, that's beautiful, huh? All right, let's fly this puppy. Let's go ahead and go autopilot off. Wrong button. Let's continue slowing down. I'm going to spin my OBS needle to 170 just as a reference for the runway. It's nothing, there's nothing to tune on 170, but it just gives you somewhat of a reference. That's something that really helps you out when you're flying old steam gauge airplanes like this. Try to put your instruments into use. Like, don't just have them in la-la land doing nothing. Like my heading bug here, I'm going to spin around to my base leg, which is going to be the opposite, which is going to be about 350. Continuing to trickle down. Let's go ahead and slow down. We'll clear the altitude alert. We'll leave 3,200 feet set. We'll go flaps 1. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. We're on a... We're on a really wide downwind here. We're on like an Airbus pattern, but that's all right. I lost visual with that traffic, and I think there's only one turn off on this one, so we're going to give them a little extra space here. Just coming down, we're 150 knots. We're looking good. A little bit of trim in there. Clinton, traffic in flight 1791, turn and base 17, Clinton. Spin that heading bug around. Approach checklist. Radio set. Flight instruments are set, checked. Before landing, lights set. Flaps.
1202, about 3 miles from 17.
Okay, he's coming down. Hopefully we're not cutting him off. All right, hopefully we're not cutting you off. Oh, I think we see you now. We're joined final behind you. All right, I got him in sight. We're going to go ahead and slow down. I'm going to slow up here even more. Let's go gear down.
I swung a little wide.
Yeah, I see that. And we're going to go flaps 30. All right, so landing checklist. Lights set, flaps. 30 set indicating gear. Down 3 green. Whoa, 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 whoa. Got way slow there. Don't get below 120 knots. So I was looking down, and we're way low. What happened there? Power, power. I was looking down. Maybe my yoke was locked in down mode. I was looking for the 3 greens down there. 120 knots on approach. Don't want to be below VYSE if you can help it. I'm gonna stay level here at 2,000. I could climb up, but that's really not ideal. So we are definitely way low on that one. A little distraction there. That's what I'm talking about. These airplanes are fun to fly.
Air Flight 1202, we're clear 17, taxiway back to the ramp.
He's taxiing back. Let's go ahead and get her in the slot here. No pappies on this one, so just kind of eyeballing it. Feels like we've got a little bit of wind from the left. Let's go ahead and slow her down. I probably could do one less notch of flaps. Man, it is ripping down here. Way fast, but that's all right.
Company traffic, just wanted to advise you the wind's just swirly.
I want to get this one because there's a 330 down there. Whew! Hard on the brakes. We smoked him. I didn't want to go down there where he is. We were definitely hot on that one, but the airplane, I think the drag model feels off because as soon as you get below like 120, it just does not want to fly, which is not correct. You should be flying that up. You should be coming across the numbers about 100 knots or so. But we smoked the brakes on this one. We're going to go over here. I'm going to taxi the ramp. We'll pop a window and I'll share a little story. So I used to come in. Oh no. Click and drag bug. Alright, after landing checklist, we go. That's coming off. Auto feather is coming off. Environmental, we can just go ahead and shut them off. Lead air is off. We'll go ahead and kill the avionics. Kill the landing, keep the taxi light. Kill the strobe. Keep the tail flood on. This is actually a pretty accurate layout. Turn left here and I'll show you where we parked. Faster revamp than a 739. I know, it did not seem very good there. Maybe I'll try less flaps on the next approach. I wonder, I just don't know, maybe this airplane hasn't been updated in a while, right? Maybe Microsoft has got ahead of it. Bose headset going on with warm milk by my bedside. Nice, Sailor. That's in the wind. Tyson got a drop. Thank you for the incredible stream. Dyson, appreciate you, man. Thanks for the support, dude. Have a good one. Oh, man, this is actually pretty accurate. So I would come right here, and I'd spin this sucker around. So I would be facing, ready to taxi out. Because in real life, there's not this much traffic here. But I would basically spin around on the T's and sit right here so I didn't have to turn after start. So we'll go ahead and we'll set the brakes. All right, shut down avionics master off, generators off, bleed valves, environmental off, power levers, flight idle, condition levers, cut off. And we'll feather the prop. I think it was right around 50% or so. You feather it just so they stop spinning. Beacon, then battery. I don't know why they're not feathered. That kind of sucks. All right, beacon is off, and then we'll go inverters off, crash bar down. So we are here. Welcome to Clinton Regional Airport. Now we're going to load up and get ready for Oak City. Now let me pull up Sky Vector here real quick. This one should be pretty sweet, flying into Oak City. So it's only 66 miles. It's basically a straight shot. As far as VORs to track, we're going to track Will Rogers. We'll get to that. But I'm going to tell a little bit of a here in that preview video, guys. In the trailer, do you remember when it was starting up and you saw the 200 on the ramp, or the Beach 99 on the ramp, and the sun was setting? It was right here on this ramp. This is the exact ramp that video was shot in the trailer. But as the sun gets ready to set here, there was a time. It's a brief story. I'm gonna just share it with you because I know we have a lot of aviators that are on this channel, and guys and gals that are learning to fly, and you're gonna have scenarios come up in your life, and you're gonna learn from them, hopefully, so you don't make the same mistake twice. So when I was flying this route, my typical route was from Pampa, Texas to this airport, Clinton Regional, then Dallas, Fort Worth. And everything was on me. It was like the company said, here's the keys to the airplane, go get the job done, be there in your block in, block out times. So everything was on you, checking NOTAMs, checking weather, making sure you had proper fuel, all of that stuff. And complacency, I've talked about it before, but complacency is a real thing, and it can really get you. And you have to be aware of complacency as your experience gets up, because the more experience you get, the more comfortable you get with things, and then that breeds into complacency, and complacency is what can kill you or get you in a really bad spot, which it happened to get me in a really bad spot on one particular night. So there I was. It was I think it was a Friday, if I'm not mistaken. It was a Friday evening, so I was in a hurry to get home. You've got the get there-itis factor. That's in play, right? I want to get home, get there-itis. And I briefly looked at the weather, but I only looked at the weather for Pampa. For some reason, I think I just pulled up the WSI weather brief, and I'm like, it looks clear out here. There's really nothing to worry about. And it's been clear all week. It was fall. I think it was fall time. Wow, it looks like the UPS truck has arrived. It was fall time. And the weather was clear all week. There was really nothing going on. Crockett's Return. I got to get this real quick here. Crockett's Return. Thank you so much, my friend, for a €50 donation, dude. Absolutely massive. appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the €50 support there. I was almost on time. Promises made and delivered. Keep up the good work. Crockett's return. Hey, man, thanks for the nice comment earlier on the other video. Glad to see you in the live stream, and thank you so much for that massive €50 super chat, dude. Very appreciative of that. Thank you for your kind words and support, man. So there I was, checked the weather. Yeah, I got enough fuel. Let's go. And fuel, you always ran tight. You never flew with full tanks. You always had the right amount of fuel. You didn't want to have more fuel because it was cost the company money, and they were always harping on making sure you had the right amount of fuel. They would check the fuel in the tanks when you got to your destination, when you got back to DFW. And if you had a bunch of excess fuel, they would, you'd hear about it. Like, why are you taking so much fuel? You're costing us money, because that's weight. So I just took my basic regular fuel load, whatever it was, 1,500 pounds, whatever it was, out of Pampa. And I flew into Clinton. And once I got to Clinton, complacency, get there-itis, I loaded up and I took off. I didn't even think about updating the weather, checking the weather, anything like that. And when I took off, I got into a massive dry line had formed. We call them dry lines here in the Texas and in the Midwest. But basically what happens, it's a very narrow line of thunderstorms that can really pop up out of nowhere. If the temperature dew point is right, I mean, you could look like you're having a decent day, and then by late afternoon into early evening, the sky just blows up, and you get these towering thunderstorms, hail, tornadoes, extreme wind, just absolutely crazy. And I took off out of Clinton, and I realized I was heading right into a dry line set of thunderstorms going into DFW. And I'm flying in there, and I'm thinking about, man, I didn't plan for this properly. I didn't realize I had this between me and my destination. It's only like 150 miles or something. It's a relatively short flight. And so I continue pressing forward. And I can see that as I'm flying towards this dry line, there's kind of a secondary one building behind me. So I'm getting boxed in between these two sets of these two dry line these air mass thunderstorm walls. And to make a long story short, and the rest I'll put on a podcast sometime, but I eventually decided to make a 180, and because I couldn't control the airplane. The turbulence had gotten so bad that the airplane, I was concerned that the airplane was going to come apart. I would go from, below maneuvering speed up to red line within seconds. And then, from overspeeding, I'd be down, getting ready to hit the stall buffet. The winds were shifting so much, and the turbulence was so bad that I was just praying that the wings were going to stay on the airplane. I said, Lord, if you can keep the wings on this airplane, I'm going to get it on the ground. And I pulled a 180. And I was flying through some crazy thunderstorms, some crazy weather. I got trapped. I got pinched in between these two lines. But I couldn't just continue going. I had to make a decision. So I turned around. And as I was coming back around, the weather, the visibility was too low to get in with heavy rain. It was too low, too bad to get into to regional here, Clinton Regional. So I called up ATC. I needed to pop up IFR, and I needed to get to Clinton, or I needed to get to Oak City. I needed IFR clearance to Oak City, and I'm reporting severe turbulence and all this. And Kanoki, thank you so much, man, for the €10 dono as well. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. I'll get to that in just a second. Let me finish this. Appreciate you. So I pick up the IFR clearance into Oak City, and as I'm flying further and further north, you wouldn't think that these massive air mass thunderstorms would also, give you icing conditions unless you're super high up. But right around 10,000 feet was a nice icing layer. It was just cold enough. It was I think it was 5 degrees outside air temperature at 10,000 feet. And I started picking up really bad ice. And I mean, you're talking about icing in and out of heavy rain and lightning. It just was a pretty horrendous experience. I diverted into, I finally made it to Oak City, shot the ILS into there, got out, and it was a kind of like a holy grail. I was like, I think I literally kissed the ground that night. I think I got out in Oak City and I just kissed the ground because I was so thankful to be on the ground, did a long walk around of the airplane, and it was a harrowing experience, and all because I was complacent. It was my fault completely. So I tell this story because I want you guys, if anybody hears that and they're in a similar situation, to always do your due diligence. It doesn't matter how many times you've done the route. It doesn't matter how experienced you are in that route. And when you fly the same routes, it's even worse because you get more and more complacent with the same route. You know every frequency by heart. You know every course by heart. You know every localizer frequency. So the more you do the same thing, the more complacent you get. And that's how it was. And I was very fortunate that I was able to get out of that situation okay. So I tell that story to you guys. So hopefully maybe someday it'll prevent you from getting into that. So here we are. Kanopki, thank you so much, man, for the €10 dono. Really appreciate you, man. It says the big Airbus flying along was actually a TBM 930, and it gave me, but model matching wasn't that accurate. I kept my distance. Go V1. Kanopki, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. I thought it was just an A330. That's funny, dude. Thank you so much for flying the TBM. Well, you're going to be ripping around in that TBM. That's fun, too. So, all right, here we go. Let's go ahead and fire it up. It's sunset. So instead of doing a full-blown diversion, we're going to take off and go direct to Oak City because I want to see the airport here. It looks really nice with the lights on too. So it's super, super quick. We'll get the battery switch on. We'll get the rest of our lights up here. Let's go masters on. That's all coming on. I'm going to just turn all the lights on so when we get power, it'll be super juicy. Is a CFI type rating required? No, I don't believe a CFI is required, Peyton. I don't believe it's required. And I've got another, and that wasn't even my favorite Oak City story. I've got another Oak City story which I'm going to tell you when we land in Oklahoma City with UniBuild. So the night I decided I no longer wanted to fly freight, that story I'll tell when we get on the ground here in Oak City, and we'll go from there. But that was story number one. Complacency, probably shoulda, coulda killed me. Got lucky. You only make that mistake once, especially and I was still relatively new to Texas at the time. I'm not new to Texas, but new to flying in the Panhandle. I never flew. I mean, the weather is so crazy and so rapid in the Panhandle and up on that Oklahoma border. You have VFR for an hour, and then the next hour it's just severe thunderstorm. So, all right, here we go. Let's go ahead and get the batteries on. Why is my taxi light on? That's off. Nav light is on. Beacon is on. And we're going to just go ahead and start her up. Let's do weight and balance real quick here. I should have done this before. Weight and balance. No fuel. We don't take any fuel in Clinton, but we pretty much max out our payload. We'll go 94%. All right, so we're completely loaded up. We're on the aft limit. Why are we on the aft limit? I gotta change that. Let's go. Let's take 500. Let's do 200 in the back. Okay, and let's do 200 here. I got to move this CG forward. There we go. And then we'll put up here, we'll say, I don't know why I have 501. Let's do 800 on this passenger. There we go. That gets us a little bit more in the limit. Okay. That's done. We got our extra fuel. We got our battery on. Let's go ahead and juice it up. Ignition and start. So here we go. Idle, forward, cut off. Always do your flow. Oxygen can stay on. Rudder trim, electric trim, or rudder boost, electric trim is on. Environmental off. Let's go ahead and turn 2. Clear prop. Waiting for that motoring. Fuel, low idle. ITT rise. 900. ITT rollback. That should happen a little bit later, if I'm mistaken. 50% starter cutout. Inverter. Engine is stable. 60%. Resetting on. Generator 2. Lights are coming on. Super juice. Here we go. Going high idle. We'll do the same thing. Generator assisted start. It's the easiest, fastest way, most efficient way. Let her stabilize. High idle. Turning 1. Clear prop. Rotation. Max motoring, low idle. Light off. Fuel flow. ITT rise. %. Starter cutout. ITT rollback inverter. Engine is stable. Generator 1 reset and on. Low idle on number 2. There goes our other amp flight. We'll go avionics master on. We'll close the window up here. All right, so for this flight, we are going to basically fly direct to Will Rogers VOR, which is
I've been wondering who Carter is too. I haven't seen him in like forever.
114.1.
I kind of got the feeling that he had. I kind of got the feeling that maybe he got tied up with work pretty much, but.
So because we didn't do this, I was telling a story. We're going to just set up here on the ground. We're going to set up on the ground here instead of.
Sorry, wrong key.
Let's do a new flight here. This is going to be a super short one. KCLK, Clinton Regional, KOKC, and I'm actually going to get the instrument approach set up over here. Probably land ILS 17 left. I want to see the chart. There we go. What do we have? So Will Rogers 114.1 is auto-tuned. When we get there, the localizer is 110.9. Remember, always set up ahead of the game. 110.9. 110.9 is set on both sides. Final approach course will be 176. DA 200, which is already set. So cool. Instruments are set. After start checklist, engine instruments check, generators reset and on, inverter on, avionics master on, annunciator panel is normal. All right, taxi checklist, brakes check, flight controls, tops check, bottoms check, otherwise known as knees and nuts, thrust levers, thrust reverser, we'll do that on the taxi out. So here we go, taxi light on, we'll hide this, turn the sim down a little bit, and brakes release, let's go. Your nav 2 is set to 109.9. Oh, thank you. Set 110.9. Thank you. Clinton traffic, and fly at 1791, taxi at 17 in Clinton. Let's go. Why isn't my taxi light? Oh, because I don't have it on. There we go. You know what's funny? Like, this is so...
Traffic using the correct button this time. Departing one, American Flight 1202, departing 17, turn to the east.
Your call sign's AmFlight, not AmeriFlight. AmFlight vodka. This is like... I gotta tell you guys this. This is crazy. So, yes, we're in kind of a podunk, middle of nowhere airport. There's not a lot of super good scenery to look at. But you know when you hear a song in a moment in your life, like let's say you have a high school girlfriend and you break up and you listen to a song. You can listen to that song 10 years later and it brings you kind of right back to that same vibe that you were feeling at that moment in time. The way the sun is setting, the way the colors in the sky are right here, I can smell the sweet Texas humidity and air from 10 plus years ago when I was in Clinton Regional taxiing out of my 99s. Like the way the sim has the lighting here depicted and the fact, there goes our other in-flight buddy, that's so cool. The fact that there's like no environmental add-ons in the sim right now and I'm getting these vibes, like look at the color that you see here. It's just so big sky country. This is exactly what it looks like, guys. I mean, as podunky as this airport is, it's awesome. And bull semen. Yeah, with a load of bull semen in the back. It's just cool. It's cool to kind of relive this. Can you please do 172 cross-country flight and patterns one day for PPL students? I have. That's a great idea. I will note it. I will note it. All right, taxi check, flight controls. We did our knees and nuts, thrust reversers. Check, stow. Fuel quantity and balance, check. Flaps up and indicating. We've got a big crosswind. We're going to do flap 0 takeoff again. Trim, let's go ahead and make sure they are 1, 2, and 3 set. So let's go ahead and go 1, 2, and 3 are set. Radios are set. Flight instruments, oh goodness. We're going into the grass. Going in the grass. Going in the grass. A long time ago, allegedly, someone I know may or may not have done exactly what I just did at this airport, and I have a photo of the wheel marks in the grass, allegedly, possibly one time a long time ago. That's kind of funny that it happened. It was on the other. It was on that turn in there into the ramp that it happened. Not right there, but wow. A little bit of off-roading. We're fine. It's a KingAir, man. Thing's a tank. Radios are set. Flight instruments are set. Check. Departure briefing is semi-complete. What are we doing on departure, y'all? We're doing basically a left turn. It's basically going to be a left turn direct 095. 095. So let's set our course to 095 until we can pick up the Will Rogers VOR. Clinton traffic and flight 1791, taking off runway 17, Clinton. All right, course is set to 095. Get the rest of our lights on here as we kind of creep onto the runway. Ice light, landing lights, recogs, tail is on. And let's do our before takeoff. Run up is complete. We did it on Pampa. Crew doors latched. Auto feather armed. Annunciator panel is normal. Ignition arm. Before takeoff checklist complete. Runway items. Auto ignition armed. Ice vanes are stowed. Ice protection not required. Lights set. Transponders set. Radar not applicable. Bleed valves are environmental off. Runway items checklist is complete. Let's do this. Should set our top altitude. Short flight, so we'll go up to 7.5. Oh. 7,500. Here we go. Let's roll. Yoke cam. Little forward on the stick, little right aileron. They're pretty swirly. Off the governors here, we're super heavy. Once they're off the governors, there we go. Now we release the brakes. Auto feather green. Auto feather's armed. Let's get that torque in there, right about 100%. There we go. See, the ITT would be much more unstable. Ooh, a little bit over torque. Get it back. Man, it is windy. Oh, my chair slid back. Oh, no. Rotate. My chair slid back. That's all right. We're Freight-Dawgs. Nobody saw it. My chair 100% slid back on me. All right, we're 500 feet-ish, close enough. Left turn out. Here we go. Clinton traffic and flight 1791. We're left crosswind departure, Clinton. Hasta la vista. There's the highway. Paid for runway, use whole runway. Man. This thing is Team Vodka. You finding this thing pretty difficult to control on the ground? I don't remember it being that squirrely. I don't know if it's the winds, but it seems super squirrely. Oh, look, there's our VFR landmark. A bunch of those wind farms or oil derricks. I think they're actually wind farms. I can't remember, but that's a VFR landmark. Okay, yeah, so it's not just me having a little hard time controlling it. All right, we're past 1,000 feet. We'll go ahead and lower the nose a little bit here, get a little trim in. A little bit of aileron trim, too. Ah, there we go. There's our Will Rogers. So now I will center the needle. You see how my needles came alive? So to go direct to, let's just get a nice direct, boom, there it is. Center it up, basically right on the heading that we planned. And let's go ahead and go autopilot, vertical speed, nav is armed. So it's going to turn a little, it's going to do a little bit of a hunt here. Let's go ahead and bring our power back. I will. Doing like a VX climb out. About 92, bring those props back. See how it's S-turning. That's true to the older airplanes I flew. I'd have to speak to a real 350 driver if the airplane would hunt like this. I just assumed the 350 was a little bit more of a beast when it came to tracking VORs. But hell, a lot of the airplanes I flew freight didn't have autopilots, or sometimes we'd have a little S-Tech 30 or like a turn coordinator autopilot, which we don't even have a turn coordinator in this airplane. It's just where we got our slip skid and all that. But like the little, oh, where is it? Yeah, over here. It basically, if you turned it on, it would hold wings level from this instrument here. That's all it would do. That was your autopilot. All right, vertical speed. Let's go ahead and dial it back a little bit here. I'll go up to vertical speed and lower that vertical speed. Get it below 1,000 feet as we're within 1,000. Getting close. Any builds, those clouds? Oh yeah, look at that. I mean, that actually kind of looks like we're flying into a dry line up there. Look at that. Any builds? I know you're. Oh yeah, those are the wind. Look at the wind farms. Look at that, guys. Those are exactly there in real life. So that's why this route I'm on was deemed a VFR acceptable route for our company, because you have to have some massive landmarks, and these wind farms are one of them. So basically following the highway, but this is true to real life here. Really cool. But any builds, I know you're since you're here in the chat, I was snooping around Oak City pre-stream, it looks amazing in daytime, but it also looks amazing at dusk and night. So I am going to take us in here into the dusk time. You guys did a fantastic job. It's pretty sweet, and I can relive exactly the story I'm going to tell when I get there. I'll show you guys exactly where we're parking. Those wind farms, yes, Arlen, I believe that is from the I Love VFR pack. Correct. I believe that is exactly what it is. We're only 50 miles away. We're going to go to a nice, comfortable cruise on this one. We're going to bring it all the way back. Vodka's in front of us, so we're going to slow down about 70. We're going to go ahead and bring our props back. About 1600. Everything looks good there. Auto ignition come off. Auto feather off. We get a caution. Reset that. That looks good. And we'll go auto. Warm up the cabin a little bit. We need to go bleed valves on, open here. Let's get a little bit warm air in here. This cool light means it's a little bit cold in here. Yeah, the night lighting is something we pay very close attention to. Really adds to the ambience. Any build, it does. It actually, I mean, it blew me away to the point where I was like, okay, I'm going to fly into here at night. I could have done the night stream I did a few days ago into Oak City, because it does look that good at night. All right, we are flying directly to Oak City, 49 miles out, about 10 minutes here. That's our TTG, time to go. Flight director nav out, autopilot, cruise checklist, auto feather off, power is set. Cruise checklist is complete. And since I'm simulating that we're going to be going in here IFR, and there's a lot of IFR traffic, we're going to leave all the external lights on. Now, the way that we ran it at our 135, once we were at cruise, and because you didn't go above 10,000 very frequently, we would just keep the lights, we would turn the lights off below 10,000, even though, you know, it's kind of, that's the thing in the U.S. Below 10,000 feet, all your lights got to be on. But when we're VFR, once we leveled off in cruise, even if it was at like 7,500, we would just we would turn our lights off. But since we're kind of going into a class Charlie airport, or is it Bravo now? We're just going to leave everything on. All right. So, Maze Shook, thank you so much, man, for the continued support, dude. More night stream, please, and thank you, Maze. You know what? I never did stream. Well, I shouldn't say never, but a lot of the times I didn't stream in the evening and at night because, you know, I had the family, had to do all the stuff here at the house. You know, night times. For those of you who have kids, probably familiar with witching hour, right around 5, 6, 7 o'clock. So it's always nice to have 2 sets of hands on deck there for the parents. But yes. All right. Let's talk a little bit about Oak City and where we're going to be parking. I'm not sure what they're landing. There's no ATC on, but Vodka, I'm going to land on 17. I figure we're just going to keep going with the southbound runways because it's been all the wind we've been dealing with tonight has been from the south. So we're going to land on 17 left. That's what I'm going to set up for. But we're going to park over here as well. Let me get out of this view. Open charts list. Taxi, 10-9. So, if we look here, air cargo is up here on E5, E4. I guess we can kind of tell this story now since we're cruising in. What do we got? We got 8 minutes to go. Yeah, we got 8 minutes. I don't know which view we should be looking at. I don't know. This view is pretty juice right here. So, I still have this shoulder cam on. Sorry about that. Oh, actually, wait. I want to show you guys something. I guess we'll tell the story on the ground. But look, I found my old knee board. I found this going through some of my old stuff. Check this out. So I actually found. Can you guys read that? Let me see if I can get it from. This is like some of my shorthand. And you can see I've got like Lubbock, Pampa, my clearances. I actually have Clinton in there. It's like this is from way back. I don't know if that's coming through at all, but this is what I used to write on. And actually I have, here it is, the best notepad you never had, Holiday Inn Express. You know, the notes that we would just, you know, when you're a poor pilot, 135 freight guy, or, you know, student pilot, you have to find ways to get paper. And those little pen pads, look at all my shorthand on this one. That was, that's what we wrote on. But yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything interesting in here. King 7, X-ray. So this little box that you see here on the bottom left, those are our off, that's our out, off, on, and in times. So yeah, basically you have to write down what time you blocked out, what time, because there's no ACARs in these old turboprops, so no ACARs. So you had to actually write down your block out, your off time, then your on time and in time. Now I had one, I thought I had one from Matt. This was my chief pilot. I had to call him. I wonder if it was from this one. No, this says Pampa, Wichita Falls. No, but one of my old chief pilots has his old number on there. Don't call him. But yeah, so pretty neat. Some old stuff in here. What else I got in this thing? Man, look. I mean, there's just hundreds of these things. I'm trying to see if there's anything else interesting in here. Wait, what's this one? Ooh, this one's fancier. This is from the Ramada. That's a Ramada Inn right there. I don't have, I think these were actually from, oh, this is from California. Here's the clearance. Runway heading 4000, left turn 160, radar vectors Oakland, Victor 244, Mant, direct 25, within 5 minutes, and the squawk code. There's my actual shorthand for picking up a clearance. Anyway. Cool. All right. What else? Oh, there's my timer, because half the time the ETs and the yoke didn't work. So I had to carry my own backup. Start, stop with a minute. I don't think it even works anymore. Obviously, it's out of batteries. I don't think there's anything else in here. Oh, I had the ops frequencies, everything there on this side, laminated. We'll have to do a, I'm going to have to do a whole flight bag reveal, because I've got 2 flight bags I found. I got one from Freight, and I have one from my regional days. Probably 80 pounds of charts in there. So anyway, we're only 4 minutes out. Ooh, I know this is, I'm gonna bring the sim time back just a little bit. I still want night lighting, but I just want, yes, right there. Right there. That's what I want. I got a little bit long-winded on the ground when we were telling that complacency story, so supposed to be coming in right about this time. Migs, good to see you, man. Good to see you, dude. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, Migs. We're just hanging out, doing some freight ops tonight. Where's old Team Vodka? Is he up there? I think he's flying freight. All right, so for this approach, we're going direct to the Will Rogers VOR, which isn't actually on the field. So I should probably close that. And pull out the approach again. All right, 17 left. Basically, Will Rogers, if we hit this, could do Willie post and then do a procedure turn. What's that at? 5,000 feet? All right, let's go ahead and set 5,000. Meow. 5,000 is set. Sounds are coming up a little bit here. And let's go ahead and start coming down. So vertical speed, we'll trickle it down. Power's coming back. Ignition's coming to arm. Auto feather is arm. All of our lights are already on. And we can actually, we're probably getting close to seeing the airport. There it is. right down there. So I'm going to I'm going to switch us to heading mode. Heading mode is activated. We're coming down to 5,000 feet. I'm going to put the localizer 109.9, or excuse me, 110.9. Why are we not flying? Oh, geez, our heading bug is way off. Whoa, 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 whoa. Runaway trim, runaway trim. Jeez. My heading bug was not in the proper spot. Spin that heading bug around. There we go. Autopilot, heading, vertical speed. Jeez. 176 is the approach course. So we'll spin this around. 176. We're descending down to 5,000 feet. And we're actually going to... We'll fly on the west side. And we'll join from over here. 250-hour move, exactly. Alright, pick up the vertical speed, bring that power back. Descent checklist, auto feathers armed, altimeters. We'll do a quick B check. Is set 2976. Approach briefing is complete. Visual backed up the ILS 17 left. I'm going to set us up for an extended, basically an extended right downwind here as we get ready to turn final into Oak City. XP72 has entered the chat. XP, what is up, my man? Good to see you, dude. Hey, hey, hey. Long time no see. Hope all is well. XP, same to you, my friend. It's been way too long. I just got back to the stream game here not too long ago, a couple days ago. So it's been a long time coming. Been super busy with the fam, doing a move and all that good stuff. But hope you're well, man. Good to see you. Hopefully we can catch up here pretty soon. XP, always a pleasure, man. Welcome. Alright, so we're kind of on an extended downwind. About 5 miles from the Loke. 176 is off our back right there. You can see it. We're going to land 17 left. We could do the visual. Where'd that AM flight go? Oh, there he is. He's turning final over the lake. And that AM flight. Are you turning final over the lake out there?
Negative. We're 12 miles final through 17 right.
Oh, wow. You went way out there. Okay. Alright. We're going to kind of square it up here. We're going to square it up. I'm going to slow down. We're 5,000 feet. We crossed 5,000 at Atrek. Oh, he's following his GPS. That's what he's doing. He went all the way out to the initial approach fix. That's what Vodka did. That's why he's out at 12 miles. That's fine. So we'll go all the way out, 5,000 feet, 200 knots. We're looking good. There he is on final. Man, this looks so good, doesn't it? Look at this. There's Will Rogers, baby. Thank you, XP. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, I'm gonna be at your favorite airport that you fly into on stream is ATL, man. I feel like every other stream you love going into Atlanta, so it'd be fun, man. We'll be on the same time zone though. That'll be pretty cool. All right, he's going out past us. What we're going to do, we're going to just go ahead and set a step down. We won't go all the way out to 12. Intermediate fix there is 4,000. I'm going to set 4,000 feet here, and we'll just vertical speed her down. Oh, that was heading mode. Vertical speed is coming down. There we go. Working some of that power out. Leaving our props back. That's good. Go back to heading. Alright, that should be plenty of space. Let's go ahead and crank it in. So we'll spin that heading bug all the way around. We'll join the localizer. We're out here about 10 miles or so. Continue vertical speeding down. Oak City traffic, AM flight 1791. We are right base 17 left, Oak City. Gavin, good to see you, man. Says, been a minute. Working on my commercial. Haven't had time to catch up with the streams. Gavin, that's awesome, man. I love the commercial rating, dude. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you on stream, man. Ooh, Antonov. 1,000 feet to level off. There's an Antonov down there. Man, I'm gonna have to check out that Antonov, aren't I? I can feel it now. Alright, there's our loc. Let's go ahead and hit the approach button. Approach glide slope armed. Let's go ahead and keep slowing down.
City, on flight 1202, we are 5 miles from 17 right.
We're level at 4,000. Here comes the localizer. Localizer alive. Localizer captured. Let's go ahead and sync our heading bug now. Bring it to about 176. It's going to fly past the loc a little bit here. This is actually good practice. It's good to practice this instrument approach in a VFR because you can see how the airplane overshot. That's just bad piloting technique on me. I should have been a little bit more gentle. I'm spoiled with the Airbus Smart Capture. Here comes our glide slope, so we're 1 dot below. That looks perfect. 160 knots. With the way the winds are, we're only going to do flaps. We won't do 30. I'll just do approach flaps, huh? It seemed really draggy at 30. All right, there's 160 knots. Let's go flaps approach. Power's coming back. Props are coming up. Now, we actually landed with the props not full forward. That was kind of a thing for us. I know a lot of guys and companies go full forward on the props because they hear reverse not ready. That's properly simulated, but we would actually wait until touchdown, and then we would go full forward. I think they thought it was safer because there's just so much drag when you were full forward. All right, so we're 120. We're on slope. Gear is down. Oh, man, look at that coming into the Innie Oak City, guys. This is awesome. This is awesome. Let's actually let's get flight recorder up for this one. We got to watch this one. We'll get one replay in here. Oh, I never set the, I never reset Fly Live at top. My bad. Oh, well. All right, recording is on. Let's work it back to about 120 knots. There's the alert. Go around altitude. If we have to go miss, we'll just we'll keep it at 4,000. 4,000 set. We'll clear the alert. Before landing checklist. Lights are set. Flaps. Approach and indicating. Gear down and 3 green. Approach checklist is complete. Arlen, got to run to work. Have a great landing. Thanks for the stream. Thank you, Arlen. Thanks for stopping by, man. All right, so while the autopilot's on, let me try. I'm actually going to go one more notch of flaps. Let's see what it does here with the pitch attitude. Look at that speed coming way back.
City on flight 1202, we're going to taxi the cargo area via Golf and Echo.
All right, he's going Golf Echo. So I'm trying to see, you know what I think is messing with me is I think the sound pack, FT-Sim sound pack, the sound that I'm hearing from the power isn't really matching what I would be expecting with the torque, so maybe that's what's throwing me off. So it looks like we need about 60, 65 torque here on final configured, 120 knots. Ginar, thank you for the continued support, man. Got COVID-19 2 weeks ago and recovering. Ouch, great stream. Ginar, man, I wish you a speedy recovery, man. COVID's a pain in the butt, man. It's got me, so I hope you're well on the path to recovery, man. Thanks for tuning in. All right, autopilot's coming off. We're gonna hand fly this sucker. I'm gonna try to maintain 120-ish knots here. And cue the wind shear, low level. Look at the approach light system. That looks awesome. You kicked my butt and you kicked it back. Good to hear it, Ginar. Good to hear it, man. All right, we're on slope, 500 feet, stable, cleared to land. Yeah, look at the glow from the terminal. Isn't that cool? That's what I'm talking about. Look at the reflection onto the ramp. Oh my gosh, I love that. And there's somebody taxiing onto the runway. Now, I'm too busy looking at the ramp lighting here. I'm getting low on slope, correcting. we got to get off early, so we need to. It's okay. We go below the glide slope. Bringing her back. Oh, nice. Full forward, reverse. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Oklahoma City, where we're going to have to do a nice little taxi back here. Oh, look at that. So cargo area over here is where we're headed. Here's a turn off. We'll take this one. 537 thanks to the stutter. Yeah, that seemed like a... it seemed like a chomper. That's all right. Boxes don't bitch, man. That's the best part about flying freight. All right, so we're clear. Let's go ahead and the flaps are coming up. Lights, we'll go ahead and kill that, kill that. I'm going to leave the recog on to help me taxi better. Pop the window. Auto feather off. Ignition off. So what's cool about this is you see how poor the lighting is for taxiing and how much more difficult it is to see where you are when you're at these bigger airports in a little KingAir. That's very true to real life. You really got to be paying attention because these airports and taxiways are meant for, you know, the Airbus and etc. airliners. So when you're coming in here in these little rinky-dink planes, I mean, look how low you are to the signs. Echo 8. Okay, that's where I'm at. Speaking of, let's pull up a... let's pull up the charts here. 10-9 page.
Limited traffic, Antonov 2039 Heavy will be taxiing to runway 17 left via hotel. We will hold for...
Alright, there's Echo 8, so we're going in at Echo 6 is where we need to go in at. So in at Echo 6. Where's that Antonov at? Nice strobes. I wonder... Oh, I don't know if I have model matching for the Antonov. Turn those strobe lights off. Alright, so there's our freight ramp. Looking awesome. Now I'm going to park exactly where I parked the night that I realized I no longer wanted to fly freight. I'll tell you that story and then we'll wrap it up. Oh, I got to stop the recording. Iron Man! Dude, good to see you, man. Hope all is well. Hey, all is well here, Iron Man. Hope you're doing well as well. Good to see you, man. Now we'll brighten up the lighting so you can see the airport a little bit more. But look at this, that oil derrick there. I remember that. All right, so we almost missed our taxiway. I just caught the sign. There's Echo 5. So in at Echo 5, we went a little bit too far. Oh, no, we didn't. Perfect. Echo 5. So yeah, we're going to park right over here. Here's our cargo. And I actually, and this is the cargo ramp, but I think I actually parked over here. So the night that I flew in here, I was an emergency diversion. So I got to come back this way a little bit, and we got to go in over here. Because I remember I couldn't go to the actual cargo ramp because I was an emergency diversion. And they had me going over here. It was a total pain in the butt to get in over here. Put my landing lights on so I can see a little bit better. Barely can see at all. Can you please stream every day 24/7? Not every day, but I will be streaming a lot this month. Alright, we're going to turn it in up here. S-taxiing all across the taxiway. Yeah, because I remember this. I was close to the...
Traffic, Antonov 2039 Heavy, lining up runway 17 left.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, I don't have the model matching, but I can see where the Antonov is. So right here is where they brought me. And I remember... I had to do a 180 because you never park forward because you never know if you're going to have, you don't have any pushback ever. So you always want to, if you can, spin her around on a dime and be facing the taxiway. So I would spin it around right here, right about there. Perfect, that's where I was. All right, we'll go ahead and stop right here. Brakes are set. Shutdown checklist, avionics, master, and inverter. So avionics master switch off, inverters off. Generators off, bleed valves, environmental off, boom, boom, those are coming off. Power levers, flight idle, which I guess flight idle is really here on the Quadrant. And we'll go ahead and shut her down. Clear the caution. And feather the props. Left all our lights on like a noob. Beacon light. Kill it all. Nav light can stay on. There's that Antonov. Cool. All right, we are down. Can I connect external power? Nah, it doesn't matter. We'll just burn the battery out. What the hell? We'll tell our story here. So we'll close that. All right, so that's the Antonov departing. I wish I had model matching. I'm going to have to get that set up properly. All right, so why are we in Oak City? And then we're going to go tour around the airport here, and I'll brighten it up a little bit. Matter of fact, since we're here and it looks so juicy right now, I'll back the time up just a little bit more because this airport in Sunset is just like stunning. I mean, it's awesome at all times of day, but the way the lights reflect on the ramp and these older, like this cargo building, this old building with these old halogen bulbs, or whatever, it looks exactly like this. Looks exactly like, there's the flag. Looks like we landed with the tailwind, unless any builds has, unless it just blows one way, which might be a Microsoft thing because I don't think windsocks are very reliable here. All right, so once upon a time, I was allegedly flying an airplane in the same configuration. I think it was another 99. Yeah, it was another 99. And this wasn't really a complacency story, but it was more of a, what are the limits for, number one, what are your personal limits, your personal minimums? We talk about personal minimums in real aviation quite a bit. And what that means is basically, it doesn't matter if the weather outside is VFR by definition. What is VFR by your definition? Because some pilots, especially pilots with less experience, should have higher minimums than what technically is legally required because you don't really have that experience yet. And to stay safe, you want to kind of have your own personal minimums. And as time goes on throughout your career and as more things happen and you gain more experience, your personal minimums will move further and further towards pretty much what is, written in the law book, whether it's, half mile and 200 or whatever your minimums are, whatever the legal minimums are for that scenario. So you always want to have personal minimums. At this point in my career, I really wasn't allowed to have personal minimums. That was kind of the big wake-up call when I got to 135 freight operation was, hey, if the weather was legal and it was deemed safe by the dispatch officer, because every flight had to be dispatched by our so we had a single dispatcher at our base, you were going. And if you refused to go because of a personal minimum, you were going to hear about it, and it probably wasn't going to be it wasn't going to end up good for you because that's just how things were done back in the day. At the airline operation, 135 freight cargo, you are expected, and you're hired. They tell you this when you get hired and when you interview, is they expect you to fly what is legal minimum. If it's right at minimums, guess what? You are going. It doesn't matter if your personal minimums don't fit that realm yet. So the night that I was flying, was doing the same route that we just did, except it was, we were planning to go from Clinton straight into DFW. Big ice storm was moving into the North Texas area. And Texas when it gets ice, I mean, it shuts down. We don't have the capability of some of these northern cities like Chicago and Minneapolis and all that, because it's not that frequent that we get ice and snow. So when we do get it, everything shuts down. So here I am departing Clinton. I had extra gas on board this time, but this was the heaviest ice experience that I had, that I had at that point in my career. Takeoff, I'm basically IMC, flying in light to moderate, mostly consistent light icing all the way into DFW. As I'm about 50 miles or so from DFW, they say that DFW airport is closed due to icing and visibility. I guess it had dropped. There was freezing rain that started, so you were actually getting freezing rain, which is one of the worst scenarios you can get, which is rain that freezes on impact. So heavy freezing rain, they shut the airport down, and you don't have 8 cars in these airplanes. You can try to raise your dispatcher or whatever through your radio. I couldn't get a hold of them, so I had to make a decision. I'm not going to continue going south because that's where the worst weather was towards DFW in that way. So I did the 180. I told air traffic control, we need to, or I need to make proceed to an alternate airport of Oklahoma City, request IFR clearance, do the same thing, get a destination change. Air traffic control takes care of you really good. They give you a heading. They say, okay, you're now clear to Oak City via this radar vectors, maintain this altitude, and boom, I'm on my way. So there I am. I did the 180. I'm headed up to Oak City, and I am in serious icing at this point. I mean, I am running the boots I can't remember what the cycle is, like every 60 seconds, or I can't remember what the cycle was on the boots exactly. But basically what you're supposed to do when you have these inflatable boots is you're supposed to let ice build up a little bit, probably about an inch or so, and then pop the boots and it blows that ice off. You don't want to do it too soon, because if you do it too soon, you can get into a phenomenon which is called ice bridging, which basically if you blow the boots, ice will start forming at that extended mark, and then as the boots retract, ice will continue to build, and then as you blow the boots, it's not going to pop it off because the ice has already bridged the distance that the boot is going to inflate. So I'm really cautious of that. I'm running the boots and being diligent as much as I can, and the visibility is starting to drop because this precipitation that was freezing is moving from DFW up towards Oklahoma, up towards this way. So I'm trying to outrun it in my 99. I get on final final approach control. They're vectoring me for the ILS, and I can feel the airplane is like, it's really starting to act different. And I don't know I know there's no ice on my wings because I can see them out the window. You look you can see if you got any ice buildup. I'm like, I don't have any ice buildup here. And then I was like, oh yeah, I should be cycling my prop heat too. So young me and my young experience, I wasn't too, I forgot, I got to use the prop heat. So I turn on the prop heat, and in about, I don't know, maybe a minute or so later, I just hear bang, bang. I mean, and it sounded like somebody had fired a shotgun at my feet. But what was happening was the prop, as it was heating up, there was ice on the props. But the PT-6 is such a powerful engine, and on the airplane that it is, on the 99, the 200, I mean, you have way more power than you actually need on these airplanes, which is a good thing. They're overpowered. So even though the props had ice on them, they were still doing fine. But I noticed I'm using a lot higher power setting. My fuel is a lot higher. My ITTs are higher. What's going on? Boom, light switch, prop heat, turn it on, dumbass. So, but the explosions that I was hearing at my feet was what's called ice shedding. Now, I don't know if it, like in the 350 here, I think these props are a little bit more forward. Maybe not. I think it's about the same in the 99. But basically, as the ice sheds off these blades, as it warms up, it was slinging into the fuselage, and it was smashing the side of the fuselage here, right into the side where my feet are. And I'm telling you, the first time I heard that, I literally thought someone had a shotgun down there and was, trying to shoot my toes off. So now I'm like, oh my God, I'm dealing with that. I'm running the boots. I'm trying not to get distracted. And they're like, hey, Amflight, we're now down to a half mile. Winds are such and such, and wind's starting to blow. I'm like, okay, so turn on the final approach. I'm running the ice shedding. And sure enough, there's something happened on the runway. I think it was a Southwest, if I'm not mistaken. They actually had a stop on the runway. So he gave me a go around. And he's like, hey, I need you to go around, maintain 3,000 or whatever it is. We're going to re-vector. I'm like, great. So now I got to go around in this. So boom, power up, going around. And then they vectored me around for 17 left. I was originally on 17 right. So now I'm coming around to 17 left. And I'm looking at my fuel. And I'm like, man, I'm getting tight on gas because I flew almost all the way to Dallas, turned around, flew all the way back, dealing with the ice, running the boots, running the prop heat. And with the go around, I'm like, okay, now we're starting to get tight on fuel. So he vectors me out. And of course, this approach, I mean, he takes me out like 25 miles. And I'm looking at my gas and I'm like, hey, I need to, you know, we're at min fuel now. I'm at min fuel, which it's not a fuel emergency, but it's like letting the controller know, hey, I don't have enough time to mess around with the way the visibility is dropping and the ice that I'm flying in. we need to get in and get on the ground. So he's like, roger that. Sorry for the delay, blah, 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 whatever. Vectors me back around on final, come in. ILS approach to minimums landing. I mean, it was like I'm coming down ice and the visibility was right at a half mile. And right about at 200 feet, right at minimums, I get some caution light come up here. And it wasn't the minimum. It was, where's the annunciator test on this thing? Where's the annunciator test? I'll show you what light it is. Is it on the... Oh, it's down here somewhere, isn't it? Gosh, I can't see it. Let me cheat here. I can't see. I know there's an annunciator light test. I'm just drawing a blank on where it was now. But it was the low fuel. So it was low fuel light started coming on. So at minimums, I not only have the ice shedding smashing into the side of the airplane, I'm not only blowing the boots, I'm not only at minimums, I'm getting the... Oh, yeah, there it is. Thank you. Can I keep it on? Hold on. Let me go here. Right there. Fuel press. Well, I don't think it was fuel. Was it low fuel press? I think it was low fuel press. Low fuel quantity. No, it was this one down here. And it's yellow. So the master caution came up. So it was, you get the master caution at minimums and it's like low fuel quantity left. I'm like, oh, great. So, I mean, you're into your reserves. You're well inside of the yellow here. So all this is happening. I break out. I land on 17 left. I taxi to this spot right over here where I'm sitting. I literally parked my airplane right here because they had no idea where to put me. The entire airport, let's go into drone cam here. The entire airport, because, you know, when DFW shuts down, Love shuts down, I'm going to go back to kind of sunset because that's more of the juice view here. I was vibing with the sunset here. The entire taxiway over here, I'm going to try to get... right there. The entire taxiway, what's this taxiway right here? This parallel was just planes parked. American MD-80s, Southwest 737s, American 73s. Everybody that was going to DFW and Dallas Love, everybody diverted to Oak City. And this entire taxiway was airplanes. I think this taxiway was airplanes or something like that. And I remember when I landed, I was like, what is with all these beacons? And I think there was a bunch over here stacked up on this side. Every single gate was occupied. So we land. I'm like, what a cluster. I mean, just absolutely, this is wild. Get out of the airplane. And I'm stretching my legs. I'm just like, I can't believe it. There's a guy in a little go-kart or golf cart. He's going to take me over to the FBO side. We'll go over there in a second. I get out and I look at my airplane, and right here, I'm looking around, everything looks normal, and I look up, and the left, so it was the port side vertical or horizontal stab, had about 4 inches of ice on it. Just one side. The other side, fine. But the boot on the port side was not blowing at all. Or it was malfunctioning or it had a hole on it. And there was 4 inches of ice asymmetrical on that side. I think I have a picture of it. But the airplane is such a beast. And this is what really, I was like, man, Beechcraft, they make a hell of an airplane. Because I didn't even know. guys. Like, I mean, I flew around with that much ice, asymmetrical on the horizontal stab, and it still was like, it flew perfectly. I mean, it was phenomenal. I was like, man, what an airplane. So I was like, great, now I got to talk to maintenance and all that. So I get in the cart, the guy he picks me up over here. So he picks me up from the ramp, and he drives me all the way around. Meanwhile, we can take a look at the lovely Indy. Look at this shot right there. Oh my goodness, that's like straight out of Juice View. Look at that. Love this here. We're going to have to do some more ops into here. Maybe tomorrow we'll do American ops into Oak City. So he drives me along the service road. I can't remember if it was this one. I think it was this one because I remember going by a lot of tails on the gate. I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know, me just a little freight dog. I'm seeing, oh, these are real airplanes over here. These 737s and MD-80s and all that good stuff. Drives me all the way to the other side of the airport. Coming in over, where is the Av Fuel? I think it was an Av Fuel or something like that over here. AAR. I'm not sure if this is what it was called back in the day. And so with this Route 60 or this Phillips 66, I think long time ago, I think maybe this was an Av Fuel sign. They're long out of business. And into the FBO I went. So I go into the FBO and I see one of my buddies just passed out on the couch. Another same company. He's just laying on the couch. I'm like, dude, Blake. He's like, oh man, how you doing, man? I'm like, dude, it's freaking crazy out there. He's like, yeah, this has been wild, man. I think I just got fired. I'm like, what do you mean you just got fired? He's like, well, dispatch. Now, I'm not going to get into it on public live stream, but basically the dispatcher wanted him to do something that was not really legit, and he told the dispatcher to pound sand. And he's like, well, blah, 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 blah. So I won't get into it on a public live stream, but I'll just leave it at that. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So then I call, and I'm like, hey, this is the situation. I diverted to Oak City. Everything's shut down. I got one de-ice boot that's not working. I'm going to need maintenance here. And the dispatcher, no lie, I'll tell it in a After Dark podcast. I'll go over the conversation. But basically, there was some funny business that they wanted me to do as well. And I said, yeah, no thanks. Send someone to come pick up the airplane or send a mechanic out. I'm not going anywhere. And long story short, or long story long, there was actually a mechanic. They flew a mechanic out that same night, believe it or not, from a different location. I think he came from Wichita Falls or somewhere up there. And he flew him into Oak City, repaired my boot, quote unquote, repaired it. And this is the best part. So it's probably 1 o'clock in the morning at this point. I go back over to my airplane. I'm fueled up. I can't go to DFW. Told the dispatcher I'm not doing that. I'm not going to Fort Worth Alliance. I'm not doing any of that stuff. Like, all right, well, you can get over to Lubbock. Can you get over to Lubbock? I'm like, yeah, I can go to Lubbock. So I get a flight plan. This is all on the same night, 1:30 in the morning. Start up my 99. I taxi out. Hey, they're sending me to 17 right for departure. So I'm taxiing down this taxiway right here. What is this taxiway? This angled one? It's a Charlie. So I'm going down Charlie. As I'm going down Charlie, there is airplanes parked. I think they had airplanes parked in this intersection right here as well. So there's airplanes parked right here. So I'm taxiing down Charlie, and I am literally, it's me and it's my buddy who I met on the couch. So I saw him on the couch, and we're taxiing out together. And ground is like, I'm flight 1791, taxi 17 right, or make the right turn there on Alpha and monitor tower, whatever. And before I switch over to tower, I hear Freight-Dawg represent, and then like probably 6 or 7 other American Airlines, Southwest guys were like, hell yeah, Freight-Dawgs. Like, go get them, Freight-Dawgs. We were the only 2 airplanes departing the airport at like 1:30 in the morning, Oak City at night. And I was just like, oh, and you got to imagine, this is coming, I'm just a kid at this point, still low time. And I'm looking at all these 7.3s and Airbuses thinking, oh, I want to fly one of those. Those guys are awesome. Those guys are real pilots, And here they are cheering us on like, yeah, go get them, boys. We're like, that's awesome. And that was it. And then I remember I remember when I rotated, I took off probably about the intersection or so here. And I could just see all the airplanes lined up. You know, all the beacons were still running. Some beacons was running just as I boom, take off, and I made a right-hand turn departure out. And I think it was Lubbock. I think it was Lubbock that I flew to that night because it was the ice had already passed that area. So that was it. That was my Oak City. And then after I got into Lubbock that night, I got to the hotel and I realized I think I'm going to put my apps out for the airlines because I think I'm done with this nonsense. So that was the flight into Oak City. That was pretty much what prompted me. Is like, yeah, I'm done with this. Let me get my regional apps in and get out of here. But man, look at this airport. Look how sweet this is. Look at the terminal building. So that was one of my last Freight-Dawg stories. I applied, and actually shortly after that night, I actually got an interview and got hired. Not too long. I mean, I think it was less than a month after that incident that I actually went and I started my 121 career. So pretty neat. Look at this, DFW. Hey, everything's on time. The only problem, I don't know if any builds are still here. The only problem with this is this a DFW flight. This needs to say delayed. Both of these need to say delayed here. Los Angeles and DFW should delay. They're definitely not on time. I don't know if you guys are flowing American anytime soon, but man, look at the detail in this terminal. Learning to fly. Look at this terminal. And my frames are awesome in here too. Oh, yeah, I was well over 1,500 at Random Pilot. I actually had to get 1,500 to the minimums at the time were over 1,500 to be competitive. This was back before, I mean, you had to be super competitive. I think the regionals had 3,000 minimums. Like, you had to have over 3,000 hours minimum to get hired. I mean, it was still, and this was before 117 and all that too. So, before the Soli rule, or not the Soli rule, before the with the Colgan air crash when they changed all that stuff. How Indie Builds is still here. Awesome. He'll pass it on. Look at this stuff here. This is freaking awesome. This is some serious detail, guys. This is awesome. I mean, what is the Tropical Cafe? I'm just going to be chilling here. The next stream, okay, this is the deal. The next stream that we do, we're going to be doing probably do another VAAL stream because I think Oak City is a focus airport, a focus city.
V1, just have to say, you are a master storyteller. Thank you.
Callie Simmer, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the $5 bank angle check. Right back at you, dude. Indeed, man. Yeah, it was, I'll never forget that night, man. Never forget it. Oh, look, here we go. Here's a delayed. That's Southwest, though. But, man, this scenery looks phenomenal. Welcome to Oak City. I can smell the terminal in here. This is how realistic it is. This is awesome. Oh, look at this couple here. They're just chilling out. He's like, yeah, I fly 737. She's like, cool. Ooh, we got a little snack box, vending machine. I mean, they even have stuff in the vending machine. This is too much. This is next level. This is next level detail, guys. All right, let's watch a replay and get out of here. Ooh, a parking garage. Man. This is awesome. I think the crew pickup is like right over here somewhere. You have to kind of come out to this little island thingy. Yeah, I think that's where you pick up the crew van, depending on which overnight you got. All right. Let's watch a replay and get out of here. Put you on replay mode. What time is it? 7:24? Oh, yeah. It's time to get out of here. Random Pilot, thank you for the $5 super chat. He says, 50 hours away from the magic 1,500. Wish me luck. Good luck, Random Pilot. It's gonna happen so fast, man. It's gonna happen so fast. Enjoy it. Enjoy every minute of it. Enjoy every minute of it. All right. Oh, I didn't even start. Oh, I just clicked replay. I don't even think my engines are on. Uh-oh. Hey, it seems to be working all right. Here we go. Let's watch this replay. Thank you so much for the super chat, Random Pilot. And like I said, enjoy the 50 hours because it's going to go by way faster than you think. I'm telling you. Promise you. AnyBuilds says, thanks for flying in and thanks for the story time. Some incredible tales of airmanship. Thank you, AnyBuilds. I appreciate you. AnyBuilds, shout out to them for the Oak City Airport. These guys are just knocking it out of the park with their sceneries. I hope they keep pumping them out because it's just it's awesome. The frames are good. The detail is there. Absolutely awesome. And it brings back the vibes, you know, when I was there, when I go there, it's awesome. Cosmic, good to see you, man. You're still up? Jesus. All right, dude, I'll stop by, man. I'm going to leave y'all with a couple replays. We will be back probably tomorrow. I'll have to check to see what the poll is doing. I don't know if we're going to be in the MD-80 or the 737. Ooh, you know what? Since VAL only has MD-80s and not 739s, I think we might have to fly the 73. I'm sorry, I think we might have to fly the MD-80 tomorrow. And then we'll fly the 73 later this week. But you guys enjoy the replays. Get to see us in chat. Thank you all for the support. Couple of massive donos. Callie Simmer, thank you so much for your support. Kanopke, Crockett's Return, Seat 2A, Mike P with a massive 50. Caden Rigtrup, trying to get all the donuts. Austin D, Mickey G, Team Vodka. Man, if Alpha Mike, and if I missed you, I apologize. That's all I have here in my little window that I can see. I'll see you all later this week. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. Keep the silver side up, keep that prop heat on. And until next time, see ya!